Bethany Manktelow here. Welcome to our Millwall fan show with some new voices, but the same focus. Just everything Millwall. Enjoy! Welcome to the 2025-26 season of our Millwall No One Likes Us Talkin, our Millwall fan show. I'm your host Bethany Manktelow and I'm excited to be here with the fantastic No One Likes Us Talkin team. Hi Gary.
Hi Bethany.
Hi Mia.
Hi Bethany.
And hi Stan.
Hi Bethany.
Not everybody likes them, but they don't care.
Now, as we look ahead to Saturday's away match at Charlton and Tuesday's game at Palace in the Carabao Cup, which we'll hear a little bit about later, let's pause for a moment to hear about our sponsors, G&M Motors.
Hi, this is Jess Tuffield from G&M Motors. Operating from a modern and purpose-built facility in Milton Road, Gravesend, G&M Motors offers a complete range of new Honda cars and services. As well as new Hondas, we have an extensive range of used cars, including ex-Motability cars from a variety of manufacturers. Specialising in new Honda cars, G&M Motors has been retailing quality new and used vehicles to the people of Kent and South East London for over 4 decades. We have been a Honda dealership since 1972 and are the country's longest serving supplier of this renowned mark. Conveniently sited just 2 miles from the A2, 10 miles from the M25 and Dartford Crossing, visitors to our showroom are assured a warm welcome from our experienced and friendly staff. Our facilities include an on-site workshop capable of providing full vehicle servicing and repairs, as well as an extensive parts department offering genuine Honda parts and accessories. The expertise of our skilled mechanics is not limited to just Hondas, but extends to most makes and models of motor vehicles. Whatever your motoring needs, visit us at G&M Motors today. The newly extended hours of our G&M headquarters means that you can contact us from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. on weekdays and 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. on Saturdays. To contact us, call us today on 01474 365 026.
Thank you, Jess. Debbie Julian's here. Don't forget to call Jess on 01474 81 3562. G&M Motors have been dear friends with the Julians family for over 4 decades now. From my dad Lenny to me, Debbie, Lions together.
I'm your host Bethany Manktelow and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Mia Lockett, Gary Staff and Stan Godwin. Many thanks to our sponsor G&M Motors. Why not check the Hondas out and see what else they have on site at Gravesend? Our first guest of the evening is quite a well-known figure. Chris Bethel, the person behind the fans programme, says he's known for having so much going on that even I struggle to keep up with him. He's famous for making a positive impact and embracing challenges. Please welcome to the show the CEO of our Millwall Community Trust, Sean Daly.
Good evening all,
Hi,
hope
Sean.
you're well. Good evening.
All right, Sean.
Hiya.
You're
Hi
right,
Sean, welcome back mate.
Thank you.
Sean, it's great to have you back on the show. The Millwall Community Trust ran holiday, activity and food camps for 6,000 children across Lewisham and Southwark over the summer holidays. Oh, and Brian King, with whom they packed the goalmouth. Are the Guinness Book of Records checking you out for such a fantastic community response?
I hope not. The whole idea of it is that, I'd rather it was the other way around, that we weren't supplying 6,000 meals. I'd rather we were supplying no meals. The whole idea of it is for children on free school meals. If we had to do 10,000, 20,000, someone would do it. But I'd like it to be the other way, that, that people were capable of, had enough funds to have their own meals, etc. So, I'd really want it the other way. But if they want to come and follow me, I'm happy with that.
Sean, it's Stan here. Before the Wrexham game, you held the first induction ceremony at the Den for the Forever Lions Club. Ted discussed it last Saturday on Maritime Radio, and it was great to see Brian King, Les Briley and Brew Buckley receive their awards. How will these inductions take place over the season? Who is up next, and what else happens for those selected for induction?
Yeah, well, yeah, the whole idea of it is to sort of reward the players that have played for the club and acknowledge the impact that they've given the club. So what we're trying to do is once a month we're going to try and induct 3 former players into the Former Players Association. So I think our next game is Watford. We're looking at Paul Robinson, Tony Cascarino, and Scott Fitzgerald. And what I want to try and do is for once a month, see if we can nominate 3 players into it. And it's just for the fans to sort of like acknowledge what they've done for the club, and everyone to sort of like, I want to try and build a former players association that we could call on them to do certain things for us, like a golf day, a former players evening, but really for the fans to have another opportunity to meet those players after they've left the club and to just keep that link with the club all the way through.
Hi, Sean. You're right. It's Mia.
Hiya.
Hiya. How you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Good to hear. The Community Day, which will take place this season next March, is organised by Millwall Community Trust. What format will it take this season, and how do you cope with Sky varying kick-off times or even changing the day?
Yeah, well, we got hit last year with it where they changed the kick-off from 3 o'clock to 12:30. It just means we've got to cram all our stuff in within, those early hours. But I'm hoping it's going to stay till 3 o'clock because then we have a long running. So what we try and do is at the Lions Centre, we try and showcase some of the programs that we do, like the military, walking football, our disabled program. And then around the stadium, we're trying to have all our partners that we're involved with, things like the police, the job centre, military again, anyone that's working with us, we want to showcase the work they do with us. And then, of course, we'll have the mascots will be children that participate on the programs. The Girls Academy will be there as like the guard of honour. But really just to show the fans the sort of people that we're engaging with and the sort of programs. Because, all I've ever wanted from the Community Trust is the fans to be sort of like acknowledge what we do and just to know that as a football club we do this unbelievable stuff. I don't think the fans know enough. And sort of Community Day is a day that we showcase all that sort of stuff.
Brilliant. Yeah, it sounds really good and really promising. I did notice the taxi/health and wellbeing pop up was at the Den before our match against Wrexham. How did that go? Was that a success?
Yeah, so I brought that in last year. It's taken me a long time to get it going. It's taken me about 4 years to get the NHS to sort of engage with us on match days. And my big sort of reason around it was that, 98% of our fans are male. A lot of them are in that sort of age group 30 up to about 60 odd. And they've always been saying, the government a lot, is that, males don't go to the GPs a lot. They don't want to know that they're ill, etc. And I always thought, well, if you brought the health bus to the stadium, the fans are going to engage in it because the club have brought it in and it's something that they believe in. And then, it's taken me this long to do it. And last year, we've done about 3 or 4 games. They're looking to come like every 2 games. They're going to come this season. And they're going to do promotions around health checks, cholesterol, body weight, all that sort of things. And then they'll do things around non-smoking. They'll do things around non-drinking. But they're just going to try and educate some of our fans and to give them sort of like an MOT or like a health check. So, I'm going to be there every time it turns up. I'm going to go and have a health check. They do my blood pressure. They give my cholesterol. And then they can signpost us to the GP or to other services. And I just think it's, if we're that one-stop site where fans come in, they go to watch a game, they're going to go and have a drink, meet their friends, and then for 10 minutes they go and have a health check. It's no time for them.
No, it's a really good idea.
Thank you. And it's something I'm quite passionate about because, I want, unfortunately, I've lost a member of staff in the last few weeks and I'm passionate about if I can do prevention by somebody having a health check and then they find out they're overweight or they need to stop smoking, and we can help them as a club, that's our job.
Yeah, Sean, on that, God rest his soul, Tim, he'd be well missed, mate.
No, I appreciate that. We've got, we very much at the moment, we're very much, everything we do at the community trust at the moment is around, what would Tim think about us doing it? Would Tim enjoy this? So, as long as I'm going to be there, he's going to be a massive part of the community trust, because that's what he was. He led from the front, and I think you can see the outpour of people at the moment, how much impact he made on people within the local community.
Exactly. Talking about the local community, Sean, I noticed the new pitch was celebrated at the St Paul's Sport Ground last week. Can you tell us what happened and who was involved? I see there was a few players down there.
Yeah, so we've run St Paul's since 2016, and I came about 2018, and it was we'd had a 3-year contract with the council. It's always been a home of Fisher FC, but they weren't in a position to run it. So it was commissioned over to the Community Trust, and sort of about 2018, 19, 20, COVID hit around 20. So they kept extending it for year after year after year. And then last year they said, look, we're going to put it out to commission. We'll ask loads of people to come and commission for it and see who would like to run it. Of course, we went up for it again, and we've been commissioned for another 5 years to run the site. And, out of that site, we have things like the LGB football team run out of there, the Lionesses are running out of there, our Kicks programme, all different stuff's there. And so we wanted to have an official opening, to celebrate the next 5 years of us. And we have a plan of what we're going to do. I want, within the next 5 years, I want to get Fisher FC in a position that they can take the site and we become a tenant. If they're not ready in 5 years' time, we do it jointly. But eventually, I want to hand it back to Fisher. It's their ground, and we'll do their community work for it. So the council wanted to come down. They wanted to do an official opening. We've just had a new pitch laid, which is like a 4G. We've just had the front of the place done up, the clubhouse. We've had new dugouts put out. And so we invited down the people that use it. So we brought down Jake came down, Ryan Lennon came down. We had some of the Lionesses down there. We had some of the Romans. And then we had the councillors come down, and it was officially open. So it was a great day. And my big thing to the councillors is that, I can write a great report and say what we do, but seeing is believing it. So come down and see what we do. So they spent the day down there, and they met kids from Rotherhithe School, Bacon's. They stayed and watched our antisocial behaviour programme, which is like 100 kids. They stayed and watched the Lionesses. And it's about, come and see what we do, and then seeing is believing.
It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well done, Sean.
Thank you.
Great work.
Sean, I saw a picture of you next to a tactics board at Calmont Road with our first team, but you weren't talking tactics. Can you tell us a bit about your visit to the training ground with Jason Vincent?
Yeah, sure. So we've got like 56 programs that we deliver within the local community, and my biggest resource out of all of it is when players turn up. And when players turn up and endorse your programs, that's the biggest thing you can have. So for the last 4 years, I've gone down to the training ground, and I've presented to the players about what the community trust is, what the impact the club does in the local community. We're not that 90 minutes on the football pitch on a Saturday. We're 365 days of the year, 24 hours a day. And I don't think the players knew the impact that the football club does within the local community. So I get invited down by Jake, and I come and present to the first team about the programs we do, and, lots of people think, the community trust, all they do is they just run holiday camps. But then when you sit there and talk to the players around about, you fed 6,000 children during the summer that are, on free school meals, and you cook for families to take home, and you run a food bank, and you've got officers that are based in police stations working with gang members, and you're dealing with county lines, and the players were just shocked that the club actually do this sort of work. And then from that, the players will then identify which ones they want to get involved in. Because one big thing I found, like in my old role, is that you would take a player down to a venue and he's got no interest in it at all. And all they'd talk about is like, how long do I have to be down here? Oh, I'll sign a few autographs and go. But by going down there and saying, look, we've got programs around disability, we've got programs around numeracy and literacy, players will say, well, I quite enjoyed that. They'll be more bought into the program. They know more about it. And that's all I was down there, really, just to explain to the players what we do and what they're going to sign up for. And then to get them to sign up to say, right, I'm going to come out to your antisocial behaviour at night, because when I grew up, I used to go to these sort of programs, you got players that, who got families, and they said, you know what, we'll come to numeracy and literacy because I've got a young child that's in school that's doing numeracy and literacy and I help. So it's really about me sort of like selling the community trust to the players, but I don't have to sell it to them. They buy into it straight away and sort of, Jake Cooper, I couldn't get rid of him the other day. I had to ask him to go home in the end. But he wanted to be there and he wanted to, be with the kids. And, I've had Ryan and Jake came down last year to see my post-16. And the idea was they came down and just talked to the players about becoming a professional footballer. They came and said, no, we'll do a masterclass. We'll do a coaching session for 2 hours with them. And they literally led on it. So, and then when you got people like Casper and people like that from abroad, their community trusts aren't doing these sort of things that we're doing. So when I'm talking about county lines and gang members and all that, you see Casper going, what? I don't know what you're talking about, because they don't do that sort of thing. So, no, I enjoy it as well, because, for that hour I was down there, they bought into it all. And, and now I know that, going forward for this season, they'll come out and they'll give us 100% for those appearances.
That is amazing. That is amazing. So before you leave us, you know what's coming. It's Ted's Prediction League. So I'm going to ask you to predict 3 scores in the championship. The best score predictor will be rewarded at the end of the season. So here we go, Sean. Please make your predictions for Charlton Millwall.
Oh, I can't do that one. I can't. I worked at Charlton for 18 years. I can't turn around and say that they're going to get beaten, even though they are. So I'm my heart's with Millwall anyway. So I reckon Millwall will beat them 1-0.
Okay. West Brom Derby.
West Brom to win 2-0.
And Southampton Portsmouth.
Oh, that's going to be good one. I'll go for a 1-1 draw.
Okay. Well, thank you for updating us on the Millwall Community Trust matters. As always, as a friend of the show, it's always great having you on, and we look forward to you joining us later this month. So all the best to you and your family, and goodbye for now, Sean.
Thank you very much. Thanks for all your support. Speak to you soon.
Thanks, Sean. Keep up the great
See you
work.
later.
Yeah.
Good night,
Cheers,
everyone.
Sean.
Bye-bye.
We will take a break there and hear from Ellie Milliken.
Hi Ellie, lovely to see you here up in Harvey's Den again. And of course you've taken over from the Brown family. Cafe that they have here is just wonderful. Millwall shirts on the chairs, blue and white tablecloths, blue chairs, and all you guys in Millwall kit.
Of course.
Tell me, what goes on? When are you here? What can we expect?
We're here Monday to Friday from 10:30 till 5 every day, open to the public. Everyone's welcome. We're open every match day from 11:30 till 2:30. We've got a new family, a new little CAF team, and the girls up here are all lovely and friendly.
So who are the girls that are up here?
We've got myself, Ellie, of course, and then we've got Nicole, who works during the week. We've got Michelle, who also works during the week. She's lovely. And Lena, who works on a match day. And my mum, Ellen, who's very well known.
Very well known.
She also helps out in here from time to time. So we've got a lovely little family team.
To look after the community.
Exactly.
Wonderful stuff. So what's on offer at the cafe these days?
We've got everything from chicken burgers to paninis to full breakfasts, tea, coffee, hot chocolate. soft drinks, snacks, everything you could need.
So it's all here, all available, a great team to serve it up to you. Well, what else can I say but carry on in Harvey's style here at Harvey's Den Cafe, and all the best to you, Ellie, and your team, and I look forward to coming up and enjoying some of the fare in not the far distant future. Well, in fact, I've already done that. The coffee is just superb. Thanks, Ellie.
Thanks, Eamon.
I'm your host, Bethany Manktelow, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Mia Lockett, Stan Godwin and Gary Staff. From Monday to Friday and on Saturday match days, come along and greet the team at Harvey's Den Cafe, located on the first floor of the Lions Centre on Ballina Road, which houses the Millwall Community Trust. Many will be aware that Elice Barr underwent an operation to improve her mobility. She is now at home and recovering well. The No One Likes Us Talking team, Millwall Lionesses, and many of our listeners wish you the best for your recovery. Here's Elice now.
Hello, Elice here, and I'm glad to be back talking about Millwall. I know many have watched my videos. Thanks for your support along the way. It is now time to hear what all the Millwall teams are up to. Come on, Millwall!
Thank you, as always, Elice. Paul Loding brings us the Millwall Romans and Prides update, and we also hear from Pete DeRosa.
Hi, it's Paul Loding at the Millwall Romans with a little update. A few of the guys, 10 of us, went up to Leicester last weekend for the Leicester Wildcats GFSN tournament. They hold it every year. The last time, we've been there over a couple of times, but the last time we actually won this tournament was in 2014. And I'm very pleased to announce that we actually managed to secure the title again, winning the tournament last Sunday. Our new manager of the GFSN team, Pete DeLarusso, is going to be managing the GFSN team. He took charge last weekend. We're entering a GFSN league this year, which is for us to get ready for the league, the actual league for next year. So we're going to be having some games across the country, and Pete's kindly volunteered to manage that one. So I'll leave a bit of an update for him.
Hi, I'm Peter. I'm the Millwall Romans GFSN manager. Over the weekend, we took a team to a six-a-side tournament in Leicester. It was a squad that was a mix across both our Millwall Romans and Millwall Pride team, which was great. The tournament consisted of 7 group games from teams across the UK, followed by quarterfinals, semi-finals, and a final. Throughout the group stage, we played really well, but really struggled to score any goals. Only scoring 4 goals, but we managed to end the group with 3 wins and 3 draws, which took us through to the quarter-final. Going into the knockouts, we decided to adapt the strengths of our team and switch to a very defensive style of play, probably rarely seen in the six-a-side game. It worked, and we saw out 1-0 wins in the quarter-finals, semi-finals and final to win the tournament overall, which was fantastic. Our goalkeeper, Jay, who is usually the first team striker, was also unreal on the day and only conceded 2 goals overall. Overall, it was a great weekend, and a huge thanks to the Millwall Community Trust for their support as usual.
And just a couple of things on the predictions then. So big game this weekend for Carlton Millwall away. It's going to have to be a Millwall win, always is. So 2-0 I'm going to say to Millwall. West Brom derby, I think that's going to be a West Brom are going to nick that 2-1. And Southampton Portsmouth, nice little local derby there. I'm going to say 2-0 to Southampton.
And Romans and Pride are with you too, Elice. They don't stop winning trophies, that lot. The Lionesses travelled to Dorking on Sunday, and Myles picked up the story for Manor Time Radio.
The Millwall Lionesses were edged out in a 7-goal thriller at Meadowbank on Sunday, falling 4-3 to Dorking Wanderers in a breathless contest that saw the lead change hands several times. The Lionesses started brightly and might have been in front inside 10 minutes. Cader Townsend's strike was parried away by the Dorking goalkeeper, and Mia Lockett's follow-up effort drifted just wide of the post. Townsend made no mistake moments later, breaking the deadlock in the 12th minute with a composed finish to put Millwall ahead. But the lead was short-lived as Dorking hit back almost instantly. From a 14th minute cross, Caitlin Savage powered home a header to level the match at 1-1. Millwall continued to press and restored their advantage on 33 minutes, Maisie Joyce rose highest to meet Elise Jennings' pinpoint cross, nodding it in to make it 2-1 at half-time. The second half proved just as lively. 5 minutes after the restart, Amelia Halawi equalised with a stunning long-range strike before substitute Georgia Heisman turned home from close range 4 minutes later to put Dorkin in front for the first time. The Lionesses weren't done though. On the hour mark, Townsend grabbed her second of the afternoon, sliding in to convert Lockett's dangerous ball to make it 3-3. But it was the hosts who had the final word. Midway through the second half, Helen Ogle latched onto a loose ball and slotted it past Abby Baravic to seal a 4-3 victory for Dorkin. Despite the defeat, Millwall could take pride from a spirited performance, twice battling back in a game full of attacking intent, but there were rude defensive lapses that ultimately left them empty-handed in Surrey. The next game for the Lionesses is next Sunday as they face Dartford Women at St Paul Sports Ground. Myles Thornton, Maritime Radio.
Mia, you played. It must have been heartbreaking in the end.
Yeah, it was a difficult game. It's always a tight contest when we do play Dorking, especially away at Dorking's ground. However, we came away from the game definitely disappointed because we know as a squad we have so much more to give. But fortunately, it's the start of the season, and as we all know, seasons they're a long time. So hopefully we can just dust ourselves off, pick ourselves up, and continue and get back into good form, because going into Dorking we was off a win. So hopefully we carry on a bit of momentum going into Dartford this weekend and pick up where we left off.
Yeah, absolutely. So we go to the Valley on Saturday for a 12:30 kickoff. Myles will be co-commentating with Maritime Radio's Clive, Charlton reporter. It's a bit of a first that two commentators are reporting together, but for different fan bases. Charlton had an impressive goalless draw away to Bristol City and defeated Watford at home in their last match, earning 4 points so far for this season. Both the club and fans are eager to end the 29-year drought of wins against Millwall in the first derby in 5 years. Meanwhile, we are keen to keep our momentum. We have been practicing and have shown greater character on the road, even though we have lost both of our home games. Given our recent results, you might expect our odds of winning to be higher than Charlton's. However, the odds for Mill to win are 2-1, a draw is 2-1, and a win for Charlton is 5-4. And here we have Myles talking a little bit about his commentary role with Clive.
Thanks very much, Bethany. So it's very much a first that two radio reporters are at the same game, and I'm really privileged to be there at Charlton. It's actually the first ever away game that I have reported on, so I'm really pleased to be there. I think it's going to be a great game as well. Obviously, as a long-standing Millwall fan, I'm really pleased to be given the privilege to report on it. Of course, my journalistic views will stand with Millwall, and Clive's will be with Charlton. But that's why it will be a great report, right?
Absolutely. So, team, is it a home win or something else? When making your score prediction, remember this year you can predict the same score as others. What are your predictions? Stan, Charlton Millwall.
Oh, I take Millwall to win 3-1.
Mia?
I'm going to go Millwall 2, Charlton 1.
And Gary?
2-0 to Millwall.
And I'm going to say the same as Gary, 2-0 to Millwall. How do we see the other games going? So, West Brom derby. Gary, what are you thinking?
I put 3-0 West Brom.
3-0 West Brom. Stan?
Well, I'll go for a draw. 2-2.
Okay, and Mia?
I'm going to go West Brom 1, Derby 0.
And I'm going to go 2-1 to West Brom. So, the final one, Southampton, Portsmouth. Gary?
2-0 Southampton. I can't see Portsmouth getting anything at the St Mary's there.
Stan?
I'll go for a 1-1 draw.
Okay. Mia?
I did have Southampton 2 and Portsmouth 1.
Okay, and I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw. Thanks for that, everyone. Do we have any brief thoughts about our game away to Palace in the Carabao on Tuesday, Stan?
Well, it's going to be it's going to be an interesting game, and I don't necessarily mean just for on the field. I mean, I think there's, obviously what happens on the field is important, but I'm not so certain that Crystal Palace are going to consider this game particularly important, personally. Now, I could be wrong, but I think at the moment they've got other priorities, and so. Okay, they're going to start favourites because they're the home team, they're in the Premier League, etc., etc., etc. But I fancy us to win, and the reason I say that is when we played Coventry. I mean, I thought that was going to be a tough game, and I was more than happy with the performance we put in against Coventry, and especially in the second half when they brought a lot of their normal first team regulars on. And I thought, and I thought Carmel Grant, who was the centre of the defence in that game, along with whoever else it was, I thought he was outstanding, absolutely outstanding. And when he scored that second goal, it was fully deserved. And I never thought for a minute we would lose that game, and I got a similar feeling this time.
Mia.
Yeah, to be honest, I do have similar views on the game. Obviously, I think it's going to be a bit of a tasty game off the pitch as well as on. So I totally agree with that. Obviously, last time was the FA Cup, so where Palace came out on top 3-1. But what a game it was, and I think obviously with the Liam Roberts challenge early on, last game, I think is kind of tension going into this game. So I think it's always a good contest, Palace v Millwall, and it's always one what us fans always want to watch. But got to back the boys. I think Millwall come out on top, and I think it'll be 2-1 to us. But I think it's about time that we kind of put Palace to bed, and I definitely after our last performance for Palace, when we came back to equalise and then kind of fell short towards the end, I think it's our time, and we deserve a win for the Palace. So yeah, I totally agree. I think it'd be a tasty game, but I think it'll really be an entertaining one. And with Millwall, we just got to go there and take the game to them. So I'm looking forward to it.
And Gary.
Yeah, I completely agree with Stan and Mia there, really, for two different reasons. Stan, because I think Palace won't be taking it seriously. I really don't. I agree with you there, Stan, completely. I just feel they've got other bigger fish to fry. They're not had the greatest start to the Premier League this season, and they're going to be wanting to consolidate, and this might be just too much of a distraction for them. I can't see them putting out a full squad. Maybe they might bring on Mateta just for the fun of it towards the end, but I can't see a full strong squad. I do feel Eze will probably get a start, so that'll be interesting, because he needs the minutes and to get in the manager's good books. And also, Mia, I agree with you. And to be honest, if Roberts doesn't get sent off, I think it's a very different game. And on the FA Cup game, and in stages, we matched them in that pitch. Just hope we can manage to get one or two players back fit. At the moment, I think Doughty is a massive loss at the moment. As soon as we get him back, I think we'd be a lot better. But I also think we're going to win as well. And I think it'd be even better. I think we might win comfortably 2-0.
Fantastic. We also have predictions from Nick Wythe of the Facebook Millwall Sicily site. Let's hear what Nick predicts.
Hi everyone, these are my predictions. Charlton 1, Millwall 2, West Brom 2, Derby 0, and Southampton 2, Portsmouth 1. Cheers.
And we would like to thank Dave Hart, who collates all of the results. Our second guest has a wonderful connection to Millwall as a passionate fan. He proudly shares in our heritage alongside his co-host Mike George, when they guide others on their Millwall history and heritage tour to the Isle of Dogs. Additionally, he was the editor of Mike's recently published book, Walking the Walk. Let's give a warm welcome to Rob Woodford.
All right, Rob.
Hello, Rob.
How are you doing all?
Rob, it's great to have you on. It's been almost a year since you last joined us. Could you remind us of your Millwall heritage? Why, when, and how did you become a fan?
Oh yeah, it was back in 1964. My dad took me to my first game at the Old Den. Well, it's over 60 years ago now, isn't it? And I don't remember too much about the game, but I do remember it was the first home game of the season, a season where we got promoted from the old Division 4, if anybody remembers that, Stan. And yeah,
I do,
and
mate. Sorry, Rob, I do as well, mate. Sorry.
well, it was a great run. It led to 59 home games without defeat and 2 back-to-back promotions. So it was in there at a very good time actually. I wasn't really a regular till about 1967, I guess. But one thing you never forget is your first away game, right? And that was at the Valley. It was the opening game of the 68-69 season, and we won it 4-3. And one of the memories from that game is clear to me now because I'm standing behind the goal and I can clearly see Harry Cripps pushing Keith Peacock into the back of the net so that Gordon Bolland could score. And back in the days when referees liked us a bit, I mean, that's changed over the years, as we all know. And another notable game at the Valley was the 2-0 in the 71-72 season. And again, like the 4-3, there was 27,000 people there. And we got by just, I mean, it was 1-0 right up until the death. And you're never sure, are you, at 1-0? And then Derek Posse scored in the dying seconds to keep us with a chance of promotion. But we'd already lost 3 games away on the spin, so we were running out of steam, and Birmingham eventually caught us up. But it was a great season, probably the best ever, supporting the Lions. And it wasn't to be, and we missed out on automatic promotion by 2 points. And we all know that feeling, don't we?
Unfortunately, the same as last year.
3 points last year, yeah.
Was it 3? I thought it was 2. Maybe you're right.
Well, I'll tell you what, go and get a league table and put 2 points onto our total, and you find that we'll be in 7th place. The problem with if we'd have been level with Birmingham in those days, it would have been goal average. These days, it's goal difference. And back in the 71-72 season, of course, you only got 2 points for a win.
And the other thing is, Rob, just to interrupt you, today, if you finished in 3rd place, you'd be in a playoff, wouldn't you?
That's right, yeah. We finished in 3rd and we missed out, yeah. That hadn't come in. I think it was 2 seasons later.
Yeah, so, but anyway.
Hi, Rob. It's Mia Lockett here.
Mia, hi.
How you doing? You all right?
All good, yeah. Thank you.
Good to hear. Rob, thanks for coming on the show today. It's great to chat with you. I just noticed your Out of the Blue Facebook group sponsored one of our Millwall Lionesses last season. Are you going to be with us again this season?
I don't know for sure about this season. That's all down to Mike, who runs the Out of the Blue. And I missed the sponsors day last season. I was invited to, but unfortunately I had a long-standing commitment with some American tourists, and it would have been nice to have gone because it was played at the Den.
It was.
And I can remember, back in the mid-1970s, we're going back a long way again, when back in the day when Gary Stemple and Ron Bell were running the Millwall Community Program. It all started back then, didn't it?
Well.
Yeah, that's when it all started. And I mean, those guys did a great job with hardly any recognition. And back in the early days, the team was very successful. From memory, they won the cup, beating Doncaster Bells. And I know there's been a lot of problems in recent times, and I believe there was a breakaway club, something like the Wimbledon MK Dons fiasco. Is that right?
It became the London Lions, London City Lions.
London City Lionesses, yeah.
So it's getting a bit political, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the team have gone down the pyramid, but hopefully one day they will be back in the big time.
Yeah, definitely. By the way, was it a surprise to see Smallbone move from Southampton on the last day of the transfer window?
Yeah, it was, because I mean he comes with plenty of experience at this level and even a higher level, and when he's fully fit, will be championship ready. And I believe we got a great addition to the squad. I mean, people talk about letting George Saville go too early, but the guy obviously wanted first team football, which couldn't be guaranteed, and that's why he was moved on. And I suppose I was a little bit disappointed we didn't sign Ryan Wintle. I mean, he's playing regularly now for Cardiff City in League One. He plays every week, but because I think we just need someone sometimes just to help us see the game out, especially when we're holding on to a lead, because we've got a lot of young stars, but I do like the look of Dan Kelly as well recently, especially since he's bulked up. But Smallburn, comes with a lot of experience, and I think that will only bode well with so many young players around at the moment.
Indeed.
Brilliant.
Rob, Gary, again, mate. We now have a massive squad, which we just discussed in there, but some key players are definitely struggling with injuries. I just said, I think you just don't know if you heard, but I think Doherty's a huge loss at the moment because he's a fantastic signing. Who of those joining us has inspired you? Who do you think we'll actually miss? Do you think we'll miss Changanga or not?
But hang on, Gary, because I think Alfie Doughty signing was a welcome surprise. I mean, because we know the quality he's got and showed his passing ability both in pre-season and in the Norwich game with those through balls for Macaulay Langstaff to score. It's a huge miss at the moment. But we knew what we was getting with Josh Coburn and Zach Sturge. But the fact that they were made permanent signings was a positive as far as I'm concerned. Because so many seasons previously, we've had rather too many loan players, haven't we? Of the signings, I think the lad from West Brom is very inexperienced at this level, but apparently, along with one of Charlton's centre-backs last season, they were the standout defenders in League One. So I think, again, we've got one for the future there, but he might have to play more of a role depending on injuries and suspensions as we get through the season. I'm kind of inspired by the unknown, the two recent signings of Sacco and Ballo. And I trust the recruitment team to find young talent. We won't get it right every time. We've seen that with the Nesbitt lost on the balance sheet. But, I like the policy of signing youngsters. It's more sustainable and more likely to see us pushing on at this level. But, talking of youngsters, let's have some patience. You've got to give these boys time. And I saw it a couple of times last season. I think it was a Stoke game in particular. That was one particular game last season. I was over in the Docker stand, and there's a couple of fellas over there that were really getting on the backs of the two young forwards up front. I remember when Richard Sadlier came into the team, he didn't tear up the trees straight away. You've got to be patient, to be honest, we overachieved last season. You wouldn't normally get into 8th place, scoring only 47 goals. And the final position kind of flattered us a bit. So let's have a bit of patience. At the start of the season, you look at the social media and it's playoffs this and promotion that. You've got to get a grip. It's coming, but it might not be for 2 or 3 seasons. Sorry, I'm sorry to be a spoiler alert, but no. Just a realist, really.
No, you're absolutely right, and I completely agree with you, Rob. I've heard, like listening to Alex Neil today, Ballo is pretty much ready to be joining the first team from what he's done this week. So,
Well, I hope so, because I'm predicting he's going to score the winning goal on Saturday.
Yeah, Rob, staying here, mate. I mean, just one thing before. I mean, you mentioned back in August 1968 when Millwall played Charlton and beat them 4-3. And I was at that game, right? And I well remember it. And one of the reasons I remember it is because we was a goal down after about 4 minutes. Scored their player, Bobby Curtis. I think it was Bobby Curtis. Curtis was his surname. And from that moment on, right, now to me, the greatest player I've ever seen play for Millwall was Keith
You're
Weller.
going to say Keith Weller, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and on from the moment we kicked off that game from being 1-0 down, that guy took control of that team.
Yeah, Supremo, yeah.
And he was like watching the conductor of a philharmonic orchestra. And
Yeah.
he was the player solely responsible, right? And he didn't. That wasn't just a one-off. I mean, you know as well as I do, he was absolutely outstanding. But anyway, that's that.
And you know as well as I do, Stan, had he been in our team in 71, 72, we would have made it to the old First Division.
Absolutely, no doubt about that. You know, but yeah, I mean, he wasn't, was he? But I mean, no, that's right. The other thing I would say briefly before I go on to the question was in 1968, but January 1968 was that I was there at the Valley then, and Millwall lost to Charlton 1-0, and that was the last time I witnessed, right, Millwall losing to Charlton.
Oh, right, you weren't there in the snow when we lost.
Well, yeah.
Was it 96, was it? 90, I can't remember.
No, 1968 it was. January
Yeah,
68.
There was one more recent than that, but I don't remember that one. I wasn't there for that one.
And that was the last time I witnessed us getting beat by Charlton.
Oh, so you saw us get beat, and in January you're freezing your bollocks off at the same time.
Well, yeah, but you know, but anyway, that's just we were all younger then. I wouldn't do it now, but we were younger then. Anyway, so the question I was going to ask you, mate.
Yeah.
Right, we've got to return to Selhurst Park on Tuesday. What are your thoughts ahead of this Carabao Cup tie?
Well, first of all, I didn't like the draw, and I'll tell you why. Because I'll be in Liverpool for the most of next week, and I was hoping for one of those clubs away, and it would have been nice to have had an early visit to Everton's new ground, but it wasn't to be. But it's good news that we've got to the third round, because it's been a while since we've got even that far, and it's been a long while since we got to the fourth round. You've got to go all the way back to 1994. I don't know if you remember, Stan. We knocked Forest out at the City Ground, and then we went on to lose to Swindon. We don't go deep in this tournament, do we? But I've got a sneaky feeling we're going to do it this time.
Yeah, but I suspect that one of the reasons we've not done well in the tournament before is because we've had this nonsense approach where it's the league's more important and all this carry on, and that's not a view I accept.
No, I don't. I agree with you, and I saw a lot of that on social media. Don't care about the League Cup. Don't mind if we get knocked up. Well, you ask the lads in the under-21s or the squad players; they need minutes. A coaching staff need them to have minutes, you know.
Yeah,
and getting through two rounds already is a bonus.
Yeah, you get the Wembley, and that's a.
Oh yeah, of course. But how embarrassing was it last year? We got through the first round, then we lost at home to Orient.
Well, there you are.
We didn't turn up, did we, for that game? But I think with the coach we got now, whoever the opponents are and whatever the competition, I'm pretty sure we'll turn up.
No, Rob, just jumping in there, mate. Well, was that the Nottingham Forest game you just mentioned? Was that the Greg Berry brace?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, Greg Berry.
Yeah,
it was kind of a one match wonder, wasn't he, for us?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, bless him.
Sorry, I think he came from Wimbledon, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Don't know what happened to him after that. And we all know what happened at the county ground with the match with Swindon. It was unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm just having a look. He left us, went on loan. No, that's the other way around. He actually went back to Leyton Orient. Then he retired after us. I mean, he must have got a bad injury. Because literally, we were his last club. Yeah.
I seem to remember he had long sideburns, didn't he? You know, he looked like he was running down the wing on the phone.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Dear. Bethany, back to you anyway. We're sorry we digressed.
No, you go for it. Go for it. So, Mike and yourself are heading for the Isle of Dogs on the 11th of October, and it's sold out quickly. How many are going, and when will the next one take place?
Right, well, a couple of dates for you. Mike is back in the community centre on the 4th of October for the West Brom game from about 12 o'clock with the book. As you said, the 11th of September, that's sold out. And we're really proud because, 12 tours have now either completely sold out or nearly sold out. And then the date for the next one, I might have to look it up. It's sometime in March. It's talk amongst yourself, guys, and I'll look it up. It's always in an international break, and the next one is the 28th of March. So no, you don't miss any Millwall games. Come along, we have a few laughs. We show people the exact spot where Millwall played on the Isle of Dogs, and we end up in the Lord Nelson pub, which was one of our headquarters, as most of you guys in the studio would know. A nice place to finish, actually. Come along, get some fresh air, and learn about the history and heritage of our great old football club.
Yeah, I mean, I done that last year. That walk, and that was in the international break because that night England played Brazil. But no, but I mean that tour for anyone on this panel that's not been on it, you want to get on it because it's well worth it. Well worth it.
Thank you, Stan.
Before you leave us, there is Ted's Prediction League. I am going to ask you to predict 3 scores in the Championship, and the best score predictor will be rewarded at the end of the season. So here we go, Rob. Let's make your predictions for Charlton Millwall.
Oh yeah, well, aren't you supposed to say? How did you see that one go? That's what Ted says. I spoke to him in the community centre last week, actually, and he's looking in good form, isn't he? Predictions: Charlton Millwall. They've come back with more momentum, I think, than the last time, and will probably do better than a lot of our fans can stomach. My head says 1-1, but my heart says 1-0 to the Lions.
Okay, and West Brom Derby.
Yeah, West Brom started well under former Lion Ryan Mason and could be top 6 this season. And Derby are in a familiar position, trying to keep out of trouble, even though early days. I'm going for a 1-1 draw.
And finally, Southampton Portsmouth.
The South Coast Derby. Didn't Steve Claridge used to refer to Southampton as scummers, whatever that means? Pompey could be the surprise package this season, and they're going to win 2-1 and continue their good start to the season.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Rob. We look forward to chatting with you again and enjoy walking the walk. All the best to you and your loved ones. Bye for now.
Thank you, and thanks for inviting me on, guys. The pleasure is always mine. Thank you.
See you later.
Cheers, Rob. Cheers.
Cheers, team. Bye.
And we will take another break there and listen to myself explain how you can support the Millwall Community Trust. The Millwall Community Trust, something that I, Bethany Manktelow, admire for all that it does. The Trust was established in 1985, works to provide sporting, education, social and healthy lifestyle opportunities to the local community in Southwark, Lewisham, North Kent and the wider community. Its work is targeted at people of all ages, irrespective of race, gender or sexual orientation, and runs programmes aimed at tackling social exclusion, racism, knife crime, lack of employment opportunities for young people, mental health and disability issues. The Trust aims to be a progressive and campaigning charity that makes a difference to ordinary people's lives. Its work is undeniably essential to the local community. They have sponsorship opportunities to support this work. Email commercial@millwallcommunity.org.uk. I'll say that again. That is email commercial@millwallcommunity.org.uk. Please help if you can. I'm your host, Bethany Manktelow, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Mia Lockett, Stan Godwin and Gary Staff. If you can donate, you will help our Millwall Community Trust deliver its programmes across all age groups of our community. We are all looking forward to the next game, but in the meantime, here are a few matters of interest for Millwall fans and those interested in football.
Myles Thornton will host next Friday's show, and Bethany will be back on the 25th. Next week, there is a panel debut for Andy Petman of Let 'Em Come Variations fame. The effervescent Jeff Burnish will join Andy along with Steve Warren, the man whose thoughts captivate the minds of many listeners.
I work for a learning and development company that supplies many forms of live and on-demand training called Seedle. This week, Seedle has launched free mental health help hub in support of World Suicide Prevention Day UK, which was yesterday. This week, Seedle has taken a powerful step in support of suicide prevention, a cause deeply rooted in the organisation's values. In recognition of Suicide Prevention Day UK, Seedle has proudly announces the launch of a new website, www.mentalhealthhelp.co.uk. I'll say that again, www.mentalhealthhelp.co.uk, a free public hub for mental wellness designed to support individuals, families and communities. Unlike Seedle's workplace focusing training platform, the Mental Health Hub is open to everyone. It offers vital resources for those who may not otherwise have access to mental health support, including guided relaxations, suicide prevention training, safeguarding resources, mental health first aid content. All resources are completely free and accessible to anyone in need. This initiative is very close to our hearts. If it saves just one life, it will already be a success. But together, we can achieve so much more. Seedle invites everyone to explore the new platform and share with its colleagues, friends and family. By working together, we can build a more informed, compassionate and resilient community. For more information, as mentioned earlier, please go to www.mentalhealthhelp.co.uk. Thanks.
Millwall Lionesses are thrilled to invite you to our upcoming league game against Dartford Women this Sunday at St Paul's Sports Ground, Salter Road, Wythe. The game kicks off at 1:30pm and it's always full of energy and passion. We'll be delighted to have you there cheering us on as we strive to get back to winning ways and stand firm against the Darts, who have Myles Thornton as their media representative. Maybe. I could boo him now, but I won't. Maybe Sunday, Myles. See you Sunday.
Now, Mia, there's no need to boo me, is there?
You can listen to the No One Likes Us Talking team as they provide reports from our games, both home and away, for the Lions, Lionesses, Romans and Pride. You'll also receive updates on Millwall Community Matters on Maritime Radio, broadcasting at 96.5 FM or via their website. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, Spreaker and all popular podcast platforms. Thank you, Stan.
Good night.
Thank you, Mia.
Thank you.
And thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Bethany. It's been fun. Take care, everyone.
Yeah, and you, mate.
And a big thank you to you all for tuning in. Finally, let's not forget to keep it safe on the streets out there. Good night.
Our Millwall Fan Show is sponsored by G&M Motors of Gravesend, Honda dealers and much more. Thank you.